How do you know if you have the right goal? And how do you know if you're on the right direction? Well, I had these questions as well, and I asked my mentor, and he gave me these 6 questions to really help me decide if I was going in the right direction I wanted to in life. So I'll go through these questions one by one, and I'll use them with an example. So the first question is, why do you have the goal you have? So, for example, let's say one of my goals is to get better at storytelling. And I want to get better at storytelling because I think that if I get better, then I'll have better conversations. And if I have better conversations with people, I'll be able to form deeper connections with people that I wouldn't be able to, or I wouldn't be able to do as quickly if I didn't use storytelling. So that's why I really prioritize storytelling as one of my key goals. Okay, so that's question number one. Question number two is, what evidence supports that as a goal right now? Well, I know that some of my close friends who use storytelling are very captivating in the way that they speak. And I've realized that when they communicate with different people, they always use some sort of story, whether it's a funny story, a vulnerable story, or just an informative story. They use some story of some sorts, and that just allows them to convey their ideas in a much more colorful way. And I see that as a very good way to communicate. And not only that, I've read books on how to communicate, and I've seen that people that are good storytellers tend to have more effective communication skills. And because of that, they're more easily able to connect with people on a broader scale. So that's the evidence that supports my goal, for example. Now, what are the assumptions? So this is question number three. What are the assumptions or limitations with the evidence that you've used to base your goal? Well, if I'm trying to think, like maybe some of the assumptions is that sample size bias, like maybe it's just my group of friends who use storytelling and other people don't. Maybe other people use some completely different technique. And maybe I just follow creators who use storytelling, but I ignore all the creators who don't use storytelling but still succeed. And I can think of some right now. Like, for example, Andrew Huberman, who's this Stanford neuroscientist. He doesn't have that much storytelling, but he's still able to really blow up on social media and be able to find, very like strong connections in real life. But maybe he uses storytelling in his day-to-day life that I don't know about. So there's some assumptions and limitations which are very helpful to think about, because you want to make sure that the goal you have is actually correct. And having done a lot of back and forth, I realized that there are limitations in the sense that maybe storytelling is not enough, but it is definitely a core component of forming those relationships and forming those deeper connections with people. So going to question number 4, how would that goal help you achieve your ultimate goal? Well, if the goal for me is to get better at storytelling, the ultimate goal is to be able to form deeper relationships with people and form like lifelong friends in that sense. And so that's pretty straightforward. If you're able to connect with people on a more personal level, or you're just able to share like funny stories, you'll naturally attract people who would want to talk to you, basically. And so that's how my goal leads into my ultimate goal. And then why do you have that ultimate goal? Well, for me, having strong relationships is the thing that like brings me joy in life. For example, I've realized even though I want that worldly success, for example, like money or status or whatever, if I do that, but I don't make friends along the way, or I don't do it with the people I like, it's a very isolating experience because you end up not being able to celebrate your wins with anyone. And so I realized regardless of what I do, I want to have those stronger relationships with people because it just forms the foundation for everything else. So that's why I have the ultimate goal. And the last question you should ask yourself to know if the goal is the right goal to have is, how do you know that goal will serve you in achieving your ultimate goal? Well, I know that storytelling is a very powerful skill and allows you to connect with people on a much deeper level and also very quickly. And so I know that if I'm able to storytell more effectively and also pick certain stories in my life that show who I am, I'm able to communicate that side to other people in the most effective way possible. And that will allow me to attract the type of people that I want to hang out with and therefore form those deeper relationships. So that's how I applied these 6 questions for a goal for myself. And that's how I decide on which goals I should focus on and which goals I should not. So whatever goal you have right now, run it through this 6-step framework and see if this is the correct goal to have. Because sometimes you may realize you may need to slightly adjust it to either address some of the limitations or to actually achieve your ultimate goal. So, with that being said, hope that goes well, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments.